Hello, everybody. Welcome to Appeal to Reason on YouTube and Rumble. If you're like me, you've been enjoying the election results and seeing some people that you might know or even be related to responding on social media, sort of having some delusional outbursts and just saying some off the wall things and acting like this is the end of the world as we know it, even though we've been through a Trump administration before and they acted this exact way in 2016, and then he came and went, wasn't a problem. We just had the best economy that we've ever had, and rising wages. And then we have Biden and Harris come in and really run the country into the ground, and they apparently thought that was great. But it's really hard to see how these people are responding like this, and they seem like they're completely living in a different world, have a different reality. But it really explains it all, if you watch, the mainstream media, the legacy media, CNN, MSNBC, ABC. I was watching the election results and just having a blast that night. I mean, it's like watching your favorite football team, win the Super Bowl, and do it like in, just an amazing fashion. That's what it was like for me. And I was just, it was like the golden age of information. I feel like, with YouTube and Rumble and Twitter or X, you can there's so much entertainment out there, so many, amazing people to listen to and hear, their conversations. And then I was, switching over mainly just to laugh at the legacy media people, switch over to CNN and see them and, NBC. And they were just like slowly getting more and more depressed at the end of the night. And then I'm pretty sure they had like therapists, showing up to counsel these people through their despair. Probably by about 1:30, those people were probably having to take a break and probably do some shots or something to get them through it. But yeah, it's going through TikTok. It's really kind of depressing to see, the state of the mental health in our country, because it's clearly not good. TikTok has always been sort of a bastion of that with transgender people and the furries and all that nonsense. You just see some people really posting their mental health issues for everyone to see. And it's like a victimhood card. They're all proud of it because I guess in the religion of woke, the higher your victim status, the higher your status overall within the group or something. Don't ask me. I'm not that kind of person. I don't understand it at all. But to them, it makes sense, I guess. But yeah, it was fun to watch that. And then going through yesterday, it was really pretty entertaining to see some of the legacy media meltdowns that were going on. I was going to show you the Morning Joe, and then found a pretty good one from The View, which is always just a gold mine for content. So yeah, let's go ahead and see the Morning Joe, what they had to say there.
Rev, let's talk about, you talked about gender and race. Let's talk about race. Donald Trump fared very well with Hispanic voters, especially Hispanic men. The numbers are coming in still a little early, but I think he did better with black men than was expected in the past. What do you think pushed that, especially with the Hispanic voters going for Donald Trump as much as they did? Because that made a big difference.
I think that a lot of it was he was able to sell a lot of Hispanic voters that immigration was a threat to them, that some of the people coming across the border was a threat to them. I think that we've got to be honest, among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality that he appealed to this whole false macho thing that some black men and some Latino men went for. I think that we cannot sit around just bedwetting. We've got to deal with the reality, and we've got to deal with the situation as it is.
So I guess what he's saying, the reality and the situation it is that black men are misogynists, and so are Hispanic men, men in general, I guess. It really didn't take the left to go back after men. They sort of flirted with men in a really awkward way. You know, they're like, "Oh, let's have Tim Walls go hunting and not really know how to load a gun." And you know, they had the white dudes for Harris and all that, which was just a bunch of seemed like a bunch of incels, just larping around, and I don't know what they thought that they were going to get out of that. And then he was saying that it's surprising, you know, it shouldn't be any surprise that that many Hispanic voters voted for Trump, because these people, they come from, you know, religious countries, Christian, Judeo-Christian values, which obviously one party, you know, the Republican Party has way more, you know, positive feelings towards them, and they actually try to, you know, actually include those people, you know, genuinely throughout, you know, the entire campaign. Whereas the Kamala Harris team, they only started to, you know, flirt with the religious people, you know, in the churches, and then she would go in and do the, you know, the fake pastor accent, you know, a couple times right before, and she only did that after she told the guy that, you know, the college students that said Jesus is Lord, she told them that they were at the wrong rally. So she only tried to, you know, save face with the religious people after that happened. Other than that, the party really, you know, spits in the face of, you know, the Christians. So it's no surprise that Hispanics would vote for the Republicans because of that. And also, Republican Party is definitely the party of, you know, family values and, you know, supporting families. And, you know, I feel like the Democrat Party is, you know, just so obsessed with abortion and all that stuff, which, you know, obviously that's not gonna do well with Hispanics either, or the transgender stuff is not gonna do well with Hispanics either. So yeah, it seems like I feel like, you know, 80% of Hispanics should be voting for Republicans, and I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't start happening. You know, we don't start getting closer to those numbers, because, you know, Hispanics tend to be very much working class people, and the Republican Party is definitely the party of the working class. You know, people that want to work hard and succeed, versus the Democrat Party is the elites that, you know, they're like, yeah, all right, if you're not college educated and you're having a hard time, just graduate. That was a TikTok I saw, just some college professor today. He's like, if you're struggling with food prices, just get an education and be smarter and stop being so dumb and poor, is basically what he was saying. So let's go ahead and switch over to the View and see what kind of stuff these intellectual geniuses are bringing out for us today.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America Makes a Perilous Choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now.
And what we know now is we got the best economy we've ever had. We had a secure border. We had actual rising wages for people to have a better lifestyle, a better standard of living. We had low gas prices. We had no new wars. We had peace deals in the Middle East that we have never seen before. All these promises that politicians were making over the years and never fulfilled, we finally had with Trump. I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I thought he was going to be too liberal. I thought he was just, you know, lying to everyone, saying what everyone wanted to hear. But after a couple years of him being president, I was like, yes, I could definitely use more of this, and voted for him in 2020. And then after a couple years of Joe Biden, I was like, okay, I'm going to completely support Donald Trump. I'm going to donate to this guy. I'm going to do everything in my power to help him win. So my support for Trump, as I've gotten to know him, as I've seen, the records of what he actually got done versus what the other party has gotten done, it made me, much and much more strong of a supporter of his. So what she's saying here doesn't make any sense.
Now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward,
So the 14th Amendment is there to keep someone from that, organize the insurrection or, support an insurrection can't hold public office. So he did not do that. He was never charged with doing that. He was never convicted of doing that. So to pretend like this is a thing is just nonsense.
that felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country. Because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think.
Okay, so cultural resentment. We're all just you all are just a bunch of racist bigots. Half the country's racist. I remember hearing someone say that in 2016 that I knew, and I was like, just kind of quietly sat there in the office awkwardly. But yeah, that's what people think, because this is what they hear from these people in the legacy media. Pretty crazy stuff. Just a lot of delusional, babblings that's loosely associated with reality at best. But anyways, give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you again soon.